Alrighty guys, and welcome back. Today we're going to be looking at the shrine and we're going to get straight into it. The first perk we have right now is Agitation. Now what does Agitation do? It allows you to carry a survivor when they're on your shoulder both 6, 12 and 18% quicker. Now in case you're unaware, a default killer moves at 115% movement speed. Let's compare the Trapper, for example, to the Nurse. The Nurse moves at 96.5% movement speed. So there's quite a substantial difference. However, when any killer is carrying a survivor, they all move at the same movement speed. I believe they're all moving approximately, I think it's 102% movement speed or something very similar to that. So the Nurse technically gets a speed buff for walking, carrying somebody, while killers like the Trapper will suffer a penalty while carrying. 18% add-on on top of whatever your carry distance is as well. Does stack with play with your food on top of that too. You could be looking at 108% movement speed while carrying somebody on your shoulder. So you're only slightly slower than the default movement speed of somebody like the Huntress. It's not a bad perk if you have a way to be able to catch survivors constantly. So people like Billy, Nurse, Spirit, Freddy Krueger, even Plague, Haunted Ground, anything that allows you to catch somebody very fast, pick them up, take them to the hook them, just gives you more time management, especially when somebody tries to do a little spin, dead hard play, or tries to go for a body block and they're not prepared for the Agitation movement speed that you have up your sleeve. Moving on to the next perk. This perk here, ladies and gentlemen, is called... that was lag, sorry guys. This perk here is called
Camaraderie.
Now, what is really good about this perk, so basically what it does is if another survivor is within 16 meters while you're on the hook,
Camaraderie
will activate. And what that does is basically it pauses how long it's going to take for you to sacrifice by an additional 26 seconds. Now, I don't know the numbers exactly for
Camaraderie
off the top of my head, but what I do know is it does go up dramatically when you have this perk tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3. So just keep in mind. So that pretty much, it takes 60 seconds to hit struggle. It takes 60 seconds to die from struggle. Now, based on these kind of factors, you got to keep in mind that using
Camaraderie
can really help you out in prolonging somebody's life on the hook. It does not work for you if you're the one coming in for the hook save.
Camaraderie
Strictly works when you are the one on the hook and somebody else is coming for the save, and if the killer forces them to go away. So all in all,
Camaraderie
is a good perk if you find yourself on the hook a little more often than not, but Kindred will give you more value than...
Camaraderie.
Alright, moving on to the next perk, we have Hex Third Seal. Now, what does the Hex Third Seal do? This actually applies blindness permanently. It'll stack for 2, 3, and 4 targets. If you only have tier 1 Hex Third Seal, it'll only apply blindness to the first 2 people hit. Then when you hit a third survivor, it'll transfer whoever the first survivor was hit to that third person, so it'll alternate between them. Just keep that in mind. Hex Third Seal isn't a bad perk. I used to run it on my Nurse a bit. All it does is cause blindness. Now, blindness just doesn't show you aura reading abilities. Like, if you have Object of Obsession, Kindred on the hook, it blocks a lot of different things. So, people used to run this as a substitute to Knockout, but then they found Knockout is more consistent based on the fact this is a totem. When the totem is destroyed, it is gone. And why would you run Third Seal when you can run Devour, Hope, Haunted Ground, you know, all these stronger ones, Hex Ruin to a degree. I don't mind it personally, but at the same time, it's outweighed. When you pick a survivor up, anybody can look in the bottom left-hand side of the screen, and you'll see a red bar pulsating. That means the survivor is A, being carried by killer, or B, being healed by survivor. There is nothing else. It's either one of the two. Now, if you're the killer, you know when you see a red bar that, well, hey, it's obviously a survivor healing up their teammates, so you don't need Nurse's Calling. You can just use that if you know where the slug is. Not a bad perk. Not the best perk, not the worst perk. Would I buy it if I had extra? But no, I wouldn't go out of my way for it. The next perk is called Up the Ante. Now, Up the Ante is ass. It just sucks. What does it do? It increases your luck. People think luck increases your chest searching or makes your chest better. It does not. It does not. It has no impact on any of that. What does it have an impact on? Getting yourself off a hook, just like Slippery Meat. Getting yourself out of a bear trap, just like Slippery Meat. It's actually a really bad perk. It does stack, however, when multiple survivors use it. I do not recommend it at all. You can see I haven't even unlocked it yet. I don't think it's too great. If you want to try it, by all means. If I had to buy something out of this week's shrine, if as a killer main, I would probably take Agitation, but Agitation comes on Trapper at level 35 or 40 because it's got Brutal Strength. I'd level the Trapper up for it anyways by default, so I wouldn't waste my shrine. This perk over here
Camaraderie
isn't too bad. it's not great if you don't want to be on the hook, you know? You want to be the person doing the hook save or rotating away. So just keep these kind of things in mind. Anyways, guys, if you enjoyed this week's video, I'm going to be doing another educational, informative shrine coming up real soon when the next shrine resets, and we'll be doing some more educational live YouTube content, which you guys are going to be able to see. It'll be live over here on Twitch, where you guys can pop in and say g'day, and then we'll be popping it over on YouTube at a little later date. So, guys, if you want to catch the live stuff, make sure you pop in and come see us, me and the beautiful people of the fog to the left-hand side. So, guys, take care, be awesome, be safe, and I will see you guys in the fog.